Surveillance capitalism is a term that has been increasingly used in recent times, but its meaning may not be clear to everyone. In this video, we will provide a brief overview of what surveillance capitalism is and explore its implications for our daily lives. The theory of surveillance capitalism is coined by Shoshana Zuboff, a professor at Harvard Business School. In her book, she describes how Google was one of the first companies to leverage this new form of profit-making by collecting and monetizing user data. Before delving into surveillance capitalism, it may be helpful to review the basics of industrial capitalism. To illustrate this, let's take the example of a car factory. In industrial capitalism, the factory and equipment are considered the means of production, and workers are employed to produce goods in the factory. Industrial capitalists have an incentive to improve productivity, whether through better workers or equipment. The ultimate goal of capitalists is to make a profit, which is the money earned beyond the costs of labor, materials, and upkeep. This surplus can be reinvested into their means of production to improve the factory or products, leading to more profits. In industrial capitalism, capitalists aim to improve their products, to compete in the market and maintain dominance. They also have an incentive to keep worker wages low to increase profits. The Ford Motor Company and General Motors are examples of pioneers in industrial capitalism, as they greatly improved productivity through the innovation of the assembly line. Shoshana Zuboff argues that Google is the pioneer of surveillance capitalism, as they took the traditional model of doing business and transformed it radically by collecting and monetizing user data. Before becoming surveillance capitalists, Google operated similarly to an industrial capitalist mindset. For example, in the early days, they used the search bar as a means of behavioral reinvestment. When users used the search bar, Google collected usage data, which they then used to improve the search bar and enhance the user experience. This led to increased usage, creating a virtuous cycle of reinvestment similar to how industrial capitalists improve their products. The change came when Google discovered a wealth of data that was not being used, which they referred to as data exhaust or digital breadcrumbs. Initially, this data was thought to be useless. In the context of the search bar, this type of data may include a user's grammar tendencies, capitalization choices, punctuation use, or typos. However, data scientists at Google eventually realized that this data exhaust could be used to predict things about users, such as their personalities, interests, current mood, future mood, and goals. These predictions became a valuable asset as Google began to allow advertisers to carefully craft and target ads based on behavioral predictions. This marked the transition to surveillance capitalism, where companies profit by collecting and using data about their users to predict and influence their behavior. Google's objective shifted from improving search for users to selling prediction products to their actual customers, advertisers. Users were no longer considered customers, but rather the raw materials used to create better prediction products. The saying on social media, "You're the product," is not entirely accurate, according to Zuboff. The real products are predictions about users, and users are the resources used to generate those predictions for advertisers. This created a new incentive to collect and mine as much behavioral data as possible from users, which Zuboff calls the extraction imperative. This fundamentally changed the capitalist process of production and reinvestment, adding an entirely new layer of machinery to the old behavioral reinvestment cycle. In surveillance capitalism, the new means of production are machine intelligence algorithms, and the products are predictions sold in a market of what Zuboff calls behavioral futures. This means that predictions about users' future behavior are sold to those who are interested in influencing it, leading to enormous profits. Rather than using user data solely to improve tools for users, the primary incentive is now to analyze and use user data to create better prediction products for advertisers. Changes made to the tools that users interact with now serve the purpose of encouraging them to share more data or behave in a certain way in order to fulfill predictions. A good example of this is Facebook's transformation of the like button into a range of emoji reactions. While it may seem like Facebook is providing more options to express emotions about a post, the primary purpose of this upgrade is for Facebook to collect more behavioral data from users. It becomes clear that the introduction of emoji reactions is aimed at collecting more data about users' emotions. While a like provides limited information, understanding a user's sad, angry, or happy reactions allows for much more accurate predictions about their current and future mood. Furthermore, Zuboff argues that surveillance capitalism also incentives the manipulation of user behavior through the use of this data, which is even more concerning. To make more accurate predictions about what users will do, Zuboff argues that companies may use subtle manipulations to change users' behavior, which they may not even be aware of. For example, companies may use the data they collect to show certain posts over others to make users feel a certain way, or to present ads that take advantage of users' vulnerabilities. Additionally, companies may use their products in a slightly different way, such as routing on Google Maps, to encourage users to walk or drive past a restaurant that they've seen an ad for earlier, increasing the likelihood of them buying the food. Zuboff refers to these systems as means of behavioral modification and argues that this is the ultimate goal of making money through surveillance and behavior prediction. The information provided about surveillance capitalism may have prompted various thoughts and emotions. Reflecting on how this information makes you feel is an important step, as Zuboff argues that companies are able to get away with surveillance by making users accustomed to feeling spied on. Additionally, consider what types of things someone may be able to predict about you based on the data you provide. There is no single solution to this problem, but one thing that is certain is that the more people who are aware of these ideas, the more likely they are to resist manipulation. Sharing this information with friends and communities can be the first step in the journey towards freedom from its effects. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe our channel.